Good evening. Welcome into beautiful Las Vegas. Here at the Thomas & Mack Center, we are set to bring you Mountain West Women's Basketball Championships. It's semifinal number 2 here at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. And it is the 7-seed Wyoming Cowgirls and the 6-seed Boise State Broncos. Wyoming had to play in the first round on Monday night, a blowout victory over Utah State. Last night they pulled the stunner over UNLV, hitting a Mountain West tournament record 15 threes. Boise State, meanwhile, is here courtesy of a 13-point win over Colorado State. A 6-7 matchup here tonight, Krista, in the semifinals. Krista Blunk, my partner this evening. I'm Nate Kreckman.
Yeah, and looking forward to this one because Boise State is very much a different team than they were when they faced this Wyoming team before. But I think we could say the same about the Cowgirls. And these teams faced off back in very early January. Close losses for Boise State, or excuse me, for Wyoming in both of those. And so for Boise State, they got 2 wins on the season, but a 7-pointer and a 6-pointer, very similar.
Yeah, a couple of evenly matched teams and a red-hot Cowgirls team coming in. They're playing their 3rd game in 3 nights. Boise State, the win over CSU. Can they get back to the championship game? They've won this tournament 4 seasons in a row. Get you the starting lineups and the opening tip when we return. Wyoming and Boise State here on the Mountain West Network. It's a semifinal number 2. The winner looking to advance to tomorrow night's championship game, take on Fresno State for the right and an automatic bid into the NCAAW tournament. As we are back with you here in Las Vegas, let's get you the starting lineups for this one. First, for the number 7 seed Wyoming Cowgirls, here courtesy of victories over Utah State and then UNLV last night. And they have been led in this tournament by Quinn Weideman. Weideman, fantastic last night with a game-high 18 points in the win over UNLV, hitting 4 triples, 4 of the 15 that Wyoming hit last night. Tommy Olson also with 4 triples in that game. Alba Sanchez, Ramos, Jay Johnson, and the transfer Diney Davidsdottir from Niagara, rounding out the starting 5 for Gerald Mattinson in his 2nd season at Wyoming. The Cowgirls coming in at 12-9 on the year. Boise State, the 6th seed in this tournament, but 5-2 overall over the last 7 games coming into tonight and back here in the semifinals. Led by Jade Lavelle, 29 points last night in the victory over Colorado State. Alexis Mark put up a double-double last night as well, her 3rd of the season. And, of course, Mallory McGuire averaging 13 and 9 for Boise State. Rounding out the starting 5, the freshman point guard Mary Kay Nero, who has it after Boise State controlled the opening tip, and the freshman Abby Muse from Brentwood, California. Gordy Presnell in his 18th season at Boise State. As McGuire off on her first attempt, Sanchez Ramos the rebound. Our officials tonight, Melissa Barlow, Chuck Gonzalez, Benny Luna. Wyoming in brown, Boise State in white.
Player to player by Boise State defensively.
Weideman put it on the floor, swatted away, and blocked by Muse.
Muse part of the All-Mountain West freshman team this year.
And that was the 142nd block this season for Boise State. They are challenging the school record from the 14-15 season of 146. So we'll keep an eye on that tonight. Olsen lost it. Boise State comes away with it. Muse goes right at Davidsdottir. Blocked by Davidsdottir. She came down with it but stepped on the baseline. Diney Davidsdottir was in foul trouble last night, but she went for 17 against Utah State on Monday.
So to start this one, McGuire has had the first look. Abby Muse has had a look inside. And Jade Lavelle's been quiet. Ball in her hands right now, but she came out immediately. She was taking every shot to start last night's game.
Mark, short jumper from the baseline. Narrow, pulls down the long rebound out near midcourt, hits the deck, comes away with it. Tried to get it over to Lavelle, knocked out of bounds last touch by Weideman.
Pretty physical, letting him play, and Lavelle has barely even touched the ball. I find it interesting. I mean, they've had 3 different players taking shots. I like the idea, though. They need others to go with her, But it's interesting how they're starting this game compared to how they started last night, because it was immediate. She was setting the tone.
Lavelle averaging 17 for the season, but she's been on a tear, averaging 23 over the last 7 games.
She only had 2 points in their first game against Wyoming, but had 22 in the second.
Second chance opportunity again now for Boise State. And Narrow had the 3, thought about it, and then just got caught in a moment of indecision, shuffled her feet, called for traveling. Boise State 14-8 this season, 8 straight winning seasons for the Broncos. They have won this tournament 5 of the last 6 years. They have 4-peated, but this is a transition year, Krista, for Boise State. 8 freshmen, and yet they're right back in the tournament semifinals. It's new faces, but it's the same results.
Yeah, I think Gordy Presnell and his staff does such an incredible job.
David's daughter, the turnaround in the lane. Wyoming on the board first.
A lot of teaching this year, though, and especially in this pandemic year, how he's been able to get this young group, and he's got just enough experience to go along with him.
Johnson strips it from behind and stole it away from Muse. David's daughter off the feed from Olsen. Looked like Muse got a piece of it. Out of bounds, they'll say last touch by Wyoming.
Wyoming has such a set game plan. They're very precise. They're fundamentally sound. You know, they only average about 61 points per game. This is a team, 17 assists last night with 23 made field goals. I mean, they just do the little things.
Lavelle curls off the screen. Her first shot short.
0 for 4 for the Broncos to start.
Another errant pass from Olsen is stolen by Muse. Quickly the other way. Lavelle, fadeaway, 15-footer, back iron, no.
I was asking for her to take some shots. That one might have been forced a bit. It wasn't completely open. She can hit the fadeaway, but probably should have worked the clock a bit more on that one.
Missed her first 2. Lavelle was 12 of 25 from the floor last night for a game-high 29. All conference this season. Leading scorer on this Boise State team. Olsen a drive and a dish. Trying to get it over to David's daughter.
Good defensive rotation, but the foul is going to go against the Broncos. They're going to stay matched up.
Olsen backs it out now near midcourt. Olsen hit 4 triples last night. Everybody got in on the action for Wyoming. Sanchez Ramos, a pump fake, went right by Muse, but missed the layup.
Had the pick and roll momentarily. Wyoming's also matched up player to player.
Mark trying to get it to Muse, and they threw it away. Third turnover here in the early going for Boise State.
They definitely look a bit off. I think Wyoming's done a nice job. They're really bodied up, aggressive defense, and Broncos don't look in sync offensively.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of nerves maybe for both teams here in the early going. Sanchez Ramos, the junior from Madrid, Spain. David's daughter goes into the paint, stripped away by McGuire. It's a steal for Mallory McGuire, the transfer from Oregon, redshirt senior. 13-9 this season. Leads this Boise State team in field goal rate and 3-point shooting. Narrow off on the floater, and Boise State is 0 for their first 6. Sanchez Ramos, a drive and a dish to David's daughter for 2. Nice job by Sanchez Ramos to draw the defender and then find David's daughter on the weak side.
For Boise State, they've got to continue to go looking inside, try to attack, get something going offensively. Oh.
Both buckets in the game so far for David's daughter. Mark threw it away.
Early turnovers for both teams. That's the 4th on the Broncos, 3 for Wyoming.
First substitution, Wyoming. McKinley Bradshaw into the game. Sophomore from Lyman, Wyoming. Leading scorer on this Wyoming team. She comes off the bench. She replaces Johnson. Bradshaw averaging 15.5 a game so far here in the Mountain West tournament. And right away, Sanchez Ramos trying to get her involved. The ball knocked out of bounds, deflected by Boise State. Wyoming ball when we return. 4:57 left first quarter. Boise State has yet to get on the board. Wyoming, a 4-point lead here in Las Vegas. Slow start for Boise State here in semifinal number 2 of the Mountain West Tournament. 0 for 6 from the field, 4 turnovers. Coming out of the timeout, Wyoming ball. Diney Davidsdottir, all 4 points here in the early going for Wyoming. This Cowgirl team, Krista, had a 22-day layoff late in the season. 5 games that were canceled due to COVID-19 issues. So when they played Utah State in the opener of the Mountain West Tournament on Monday, that was their first game in over 3 weeks.
Oh, that was like the season opener, and you're ready to go. You're tired of practicing. Yeah, 22 games. So 5 games canceled. Their last regular season game, February 13th, and then those 5 games canceled. They had won 2 games prior, actually, to those cancellations, and now 3 in a row.
Muse, the offensive rebound, goes back up and scores. First bucket of the game now for Boise State.
And maybe that'll get the offense going. Both teams timeout, regroup. Here we go.
You know, Gerald Mattinson was worried about that long break. His team staying sharp physically and mentally.
Yeah.
I would say they've done both. They have impressed so far here at the Mountain West Tournament. A couple of double-digit victories over Utah State, and then last night over UNLV. And they're playing their best basketball of the season at the right time.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. It's all about the timing and putting it together. Boy, McGuire, some contact, no whistle.
Yeah, Wyoming, not your ordinary 7 seed. They're 6-2 over their last 8 games.
But the 7 seed, that's a tough road, having to play every single night. But they're happy to do it because, again, they had a pretty big rest not too long ago.
Sanchez Ramos off on the reverse. She's missed her first 2. Boy, Mallory McGuire, just such a presence as a rim protector.
Oh.
And Mark and McGuire not on the same page that time.
That's push from behind, though, too, Nate, but still, Mark's been a bit off the mark on the wing on a couple of those passes. Communication just not quite there.
That's 5 turnovers now.
Wow.
Low-scoring first quarter here at the Thomas & Mack Center, women's semifinal. Coming off a 77-72 Fresno State victory over New Mexico. The Bulldogs, consecutive seasons in the championship game. Wyoming and Boise State playing for the right to take on those Bulldogs tomorrow night. Had cold shooting here in the early going. Those 2 teams, they combined 3 of 18 here in this first quarter. Narrow the miss. Olsen the rebound. Pushes it ahead to Sanchez Ramos. Knocked away by McGuire. And McGuire gets right behind Sanchez Ramos. Knocks it away and steals it.
Just not giving up on the play. She kind of swatted down. I'm surprised. Sometimes you swat down, you get called for the foul, but all ball.
Lavelle steps inside the arc. Jade Lavelle 0 for her first 3. McGuire the offensive rebound. Got it over to Muse. Open look. No. Bradshaw the rebound and a loose ball foul on Alexis Mark. That's her first.
I like her effort. I thought they were going to call it on her on the first time when it got tipped to McGuire. They didn't, but they got her on that one.
Anna Osley checks in now for Boise State. Also get our first appearance for Rachel Bowers. Osley, one of these fine freshmen for Boise State from Scottsdale, Arizona. Scored 11 last night, hit 3 triples in that win over Colorado State.
Yeah, she's a spark off the bench for certain. A couple of steals, 6 rebounds.
Good shooter, a high arcing shooter. Another steal by Boise State. That's turnover number 5 now for Wyoming. These 2 teams have combined for 10 turnovers here in the first.
And that was Osley sticking her hand in there and tipping it away. Oh.
Lavelle lost it, tried to chase it down in front of the Wyoming bench and couldn't get there. That was Weideman with the quick hands. Quinn Weideman, a member of the Mountain West all-defensive team this season. She's an excellent on-ball defender.
Oh, Lavelle knew she had Bowers, who had rolled so perfectly, and then just took her eyes off of it for a second.
And Lavelle, I mean, when you defend her, if she's going to hold the ball down low, you got to get your swipes in, because if she races for that jumper, it's tough to block. Speaking of blocks, Mary Kay Narrow with another rejection for Boise State. Inbound Bradshaw goes up with it. Osley got a piece of it. Second chance opportunity. David's daughter kicks outside. Grace Ellis, three on the way, and she buries it. Grace Ellis just up off the bench, hit 2 threes last night and hits her first here this evening.
Well, must have gained some confidence from last night, and for good reason. Only averaging a couple of points a game, but what a spark coming in off the bench to give you that.
McGuire catch and shoot three. Back iron, no good. Shooting woes continue now for Boise State. Narrow picked up her dribble, and that's a high percentage look. Narrow to Bowers.
The junior, that's what she does. High pick and roll, and she's got the finish, keeps the ball up high.
Broncos now 2 of 14 from the field. 7-4 first quarter. Bradshaw lost it. Over to Weideman. Three on the way. In and out. How did that not go down? Shot clock turned off. 15 seconds now left in the quarter. Narrow looking for Lavelle. Jade on the drive. Splits two defenders. Layup no. And the quarter ends. This is the lowest scoring quarter in Mountain West tournament history. 11 total points. Wyoming the lead, 7-4 as we go to the second. Low scoring first, 7-4, Wyoming with the lead. But Krista, a low scoring game is going to favor Wyoming. The Cowgirls average 61.5 points per game this season. Typically, they play games down into the 60s. Boise State is a higher scoring team, but there's a certain comfort level to playing these kind of rugged affairs, and that's exactly what Wyoming's doing tonight.
You know, and they set the tone last night in their win against UNLV. They set the pace, they set the tone, they kept the score down on a UNLV team that wants to run. And if you're Boise State, you know that Wyoming's already played 2 games in a row. This is their 3rd in a row. If you're Boise State, you want to get this tempo up. You got to figure out a way to do it. Not easy, though. Wyoming is so disciplined.
Grace Ellis, 4-3, no. Lavelle the rebound, but stolen in the backcourt by Olsen. She'll go up for an easy 2. Heads up play by Tommy Olsen.
Another turnover, the 7th by the Broncos, and they're giving up points off of them.
Yeah, very nearly another.
Oh, full court pressure, 2-2-1.
Weideman the steal.
Weideman's everywhere.
7-point lead, biggest of the game.
Here comes a trap opportunity.
Osley got it to McGuire.
That took some time off the clock.
McGuire pick and pop. Instead, she'll put it on the floor and kiss it off the window, but no, an offensive foul. Weideman had position.
McGuire not in agreement. There's been a lot of contact. There haven't been whistles. And she came in and just stepping over. There's Quinn Weideman back-to-back. Impressive defensive plays by her.
Yeah, some frustration there from McGuire. Mallory now 0 for 3.
And Weideman part of the all-defensive team this year, and you're seeing why, the junior.
Olsen, spin move, trying to get in on that zone. Grace Ellis, there's a pick and pop the other way, no. Didn't hit anything. Shot clock still going. Bowers, the rejection on Bradshaw. Another block shot for Boise State.
Bowers has been solid. She's been good coming in.
Block number 3. Osley's first attempt, no good. You see that high arcing 3 from Anna Osley. Outstanding three-point shooter, but she couldn't connect on her first. She's hit 11 threes over the last 5 games. Sanchez Ramos backs on Bowers and threw it away.
Yeah, picked up her dribble, really had nowhere to go.
Olsen got a hand on it, knocked it away from Narrow, out of bounds. Last touch by Olsen, Boise State ball. Elodie Lalott, the freshman from Garden Grove, California, into the game.
Tommy Olsen matched up with Mary Kay Narrow, the freshman point guard, and boy, Olsen's really going at her.
8 freshmen for this Boise State team. Lavelle, corner jumper on the pull-up, no. Weideman to Bradshaw out on the break, and she'll draw contact and go to the line. Went right in on the body and drew the foul. Foul was on Lalott. That is her first.
Broncos struggling to find offense. Jade Lavelle, their leading scorer, averages 17 a game, and she is 0 for 5 to start this one.
McKinley Bradshaw good on the first, leading scorer for Wyoming, but comes off the bench. She only had 4 starts this season. She's been very consistent so far here in Vegas. 15 and 16 respectively in the 2 games. 1 of 2 on that trip. Biggest lead of the game is now 8 points for Wyoming.
She had 27 points. She was the only Wyoming Cowgirl in double figures in one of the losses in the regular season. I've been impressed with her.
Foul was on Sanchez Ramos. Boise State needs to continue to create some better looks. Just 2 of 17 from the field. Inbound to Lalott, kicks to the corner, narrow and open 3. Bowers hustles it down, but stepped out of bounds. 2 of 18, 11% from the field. In fact, Bowers and Muse, the only Broncos with any field goals in this game so far. Narrow, Lavelle, McGuire, a combined 0 for 12.
Lavelle's going to take a seat. Christina Gill comes in, the freshman from Spain. With Gordy Presnell, maybe just trying to give a rest, get some fresh legs, and just find somebody to give a spark.
Third game in 3 nights, but Wyoming playing with a good rhythm right now. At least defensively, that's been the case. Weideman driving kick. Sanchez Ramos open 3, no good. That was Gill that came up with it. Osley had an open 3. Might have gotten away with a travel. Backs it out now, defended by Weideman. They go to Lalott in the post. The hook shot, no. How did that not go down? Out of bounds Wyoming ball. Olsen and Johnson back for Wyoming. Bradshaw sits down. Weideman to the bench as well.
2 of 19 shooting for Boise State, a team that comes in shooting 42% on the season.
Tells you how good Wyoming's defense been tonight. They're only 5 of 19 from the field.
It is really deceptive. It's just they are in rhythm, communication, rotations, very disciplined.
Ustowska throws it back out. David's daughter now. 4 on the shot clock. Sanchez Ramos had it deflected away by Osley. Saved it right to Sanchez Ramos, but the runner too strong. And now we got to have a conversation. Did Osley establish possession?
Trying to figure out the shot clock as well. And I believe maybe there had been a shot clock violation prior. Full shot clock in the inbound for Boise State.
Okay. So it will be Bronco ball, 6-10. Gordy Presnell having the conversation, and we'll return to action. Presnell won his 700th game at Boise State earlier in the season. His 34th season overall. Osley catch and shoot 3. That one rattles off. Well, his last couple have been halfway down and haven't gone. Nothing is going Boise State's way.
Yeah, they could have used that one to maybe get something going. You start getting into your mind when you know you've missed so many.
2 of 20 now. Ustowska, David's daughter. Wyoming swings it across the key. Osley got a hand on it. Possession arrow after the tie-up goes back to Boise State. Nice stop for the Broncos.
Joe Mattinson up, having a conversation with his post player inside. David's daughter. She got in foul trouble last night. We didn't see a whole lot from her, but she's been very effective.
Grad transfer from Niagara, home of the Purple Eagles. David's daughter, senior transfer, originally from Iceland. And now finishing up her college career in beautiful Laramie, Wyoming. And another steal there for the Cowgirls.
That's great D on the back cut. A back cut is so difficult to defend, but an excellent job by Tommy Olson. She read it perfectly.
That graphic at the bottom of your screen is not incorrect. We are over 15 minutes into this game with a 12-4 score.
Loose shoe.
Ustowska buries the tray. Ustowska hit 2 last night. And she makes it an 11-point game, 15-4.
Osley had lost her shoe. She was trying to get out to defend it and couldn't.
Narrow throws to the corner. 3 on the way for Gill. That one rattles off. David's dot of the rebound. The rebounds have been plentifully available now for Wyoming. They've got 17 in the game. Mark the steal, saves it to Osley.
I like her hustle.
I tell you what, though, Krista, as poorly as the Broncos have shot the ball, and make no mistake, they're 2 of 21, but they're not out of this game. They have defended really well tonight.
Yeah, they have. You're right. I mean, they're lucky it's not worse for certain.
Mark clears out space and scores. 3rd field goal tonight for Boise State, and a timeout by Gordy Presnell. And we'll have a timeout on the floor. Boise State's first bucket of the second quarter cuts it to 9. That last bucket by Alexis Mark cuts it to single digits. Wyoming a 15-6 lead on Boise State with 3:55 left in the second quarter. Wyoming, a suffocating defensive effort here this evening. They have forced Boise State to shoot 3 of 22 from the field. They have not yet connected from deep, and they lead it by 9.
Wyoming doing such a nice job with their defensive rotation. They have really shut down everything that Boise State's tried to do. But a nice spark by Alexis Mark, and Lavell's back out there. We'll see if they can get something going.
Ustowska thought about the step back 3. Olsen with the shot clock winding down. Crosses on Mark. Up and under move. The runner almost got it to go. Doesn't fall. McGuire the rebound. Mallory McGuire, that's rebound number 5. Yet to score in her 13 minutes. Osley trying to find Mark on the cut. Lost it, got it back, gets it to Mark, goes up and scores. Back-to-back buckets for Alexis Mark. And now it's a 7-point game. Boise State chipping away.
And that was the right pass, the bounce pass. She tried to feed it through with the chest pass in the little lane. Too many hands up. Second chance, got it to go.
Krista, that's a 4-0 run for Boise State. And Lavelle, the swat, the rejection on Olsen.
Some emotion from Gordy Presnell's team and the bench up. They needed this little run. They just could not get one earlier.
4th block of the night for Boise State. Their next block shot will tie a school record for a season at 146. Olsen cut off by Narrow on the baseline. Ellis steps inside the arc. Had a good look, doesn't fall. Mark the rebound. Mark leading the way for Boise State tonight with 4 points and 3 rebounds. Got a 3 ball on the way, off the mark. Kimura Sykes into the game for the first time. David's daughter was looking for the ball out on the break. Olsen didn't see her. 2-minute mark now here, first half. Weideman ran into a wall with Narrow and Mark and threw it away. That is the 9th turnover by Wyoming. We have 20 total turnovers thus far in the basketball game.
And a team that really typically takes care of it, Boise State, making them turn it over, but they only average 11 turns a game.
Lavelle lost it, got it back. McGuire thought about the three. Mark, the reverse. How did she get that to go?
Wow, great upper body strength and body control and awareness of where she was.
6-0 run, all 6 points from Alexis Mark. Boise State needed a spark, and it has been Alexis. Ellis had space, fired away, doesn't fall. Wyoming just 1 for their last 9 from the field. Mark lost it, got it back. Back's on David's daughter. Lavelle, catch and shoot, fading away. Didn't have her feet underneath her on that shot, going away from the bucket.
Yep, and she's 0 for 6 now. Has yet to score. She struggled in one of the 2 outings against Wyoming, and she's struggling a bit here in this one.
Cowgirls haven't scored in over 4 minutes. 4 on the shot clock. Olsen's got to go. Gets into the lane, the runner. Too strong off the glass. Second chance opportunity. Weideman, an open 3. She buries it.
Oh, that's a big second chance. Missed the box out. That's what happens.
Quinn Weideman's 135th 3 of her career. Mark, clock winding down, pulls up for 2 and drains it. And that'll bring us to halftime. 8 points for Alexis Mark, and an 18-12 game here at the break. Mountain West semifinals halftime show is next.
Welcome back inside the Thomas and Mack Center here in Las Vegas at the half of the second semifinal game of the day. The Wyoming Cowgirls up 18-12 against the Boise State Broncos. Guys, it has been a really slow first half. Let's take a look at those first half highlights. Wyoming had an outstanding matchup last night, and here in this first quarter they got things going with Diney, David's daughter. She gets that hook shot to put Wyoming up 2-0. The game's first score was 2 minutes in. Then we got Diney, David's daughter again, and then we've got Abby Muse, the freshman from Boise State, with the putback, and then we've got Grace Ellis for Wyoming with the 3-pointer to put Wyoming up 7-2. She has had 7 threes this year, and she's had 3 today already. Now let's take a look at those second quarter highlights. Start things off with Tommy Olsen with the steal. Wyoming had back-to-back steals to open up that second quarter. They really turned things up there. Quinn Weideman there with the steal to put Wyoming up 11-4. Wyoming had an outstanding performance last night, like I said, and Quinn Weideman really led the team along with Tommy Olsen. And here we've got Boise State with the putback layup. Boise State didn't score in double digits until a minute 30 left in the second quarter. Then let's talk about the defense, because that's really been the star. That's what's been talked about the most here in this first half. We've got Abby Muse, the freshman, again with the big block. And then we've got another steal from Wyoming. Steals, steals, and more steals have really been the name of the game tonight. And look at that, Jade Lavelle with the monster block there. Now let's take a look at the stats from that first half. Like I said, last night, Wyoming had a huge game. They set a tournament record of 3-pointers. They have 3 so far in tonight's matchup. Boise State with 0. Both teams doing pretty well with rebounding, even at 21. Now let's take a look at the shot tracker for tonight. Wyoming, most of their points have come from inside the paint. They've gotten a couple threes from behind the arc, like I said, from last night. Threes are their game. Now let's take a look at Boise State. Boise State has struggled from outside the arc. Again, most of their points have come from inside, so I'm sure both coaches are in those locker rooms telling them they need to turn up the heat from behind the arc and get the scoring going here in the second half. We know where we've been. We know We're hoping to know where we're going after this second half. We'll know after the second half. Wyoming is up 18-12 against Boise State. Fresno State punched their ticket to the Mountain West Championship tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And after this game, we'll see who will take them on. It's definitely not the same without our great fans here at the Thomas & Mack Center, but we're committed to giving you the best seats we possibly can to feel a part of the 2021 Air Force Reserve Mountain West Tournament. Make sure you're participating in the virtual game day experience. You can enter the Mountain West Hoops second screen experience by logging on to mountainwesthoops.com or on your smartphone or computer. You can watch the games, participate in fan polls, trivia, and chat with fellow fans. The Mountain West Hoops second screen experience is available for all tournament games. For more information, visit mountainwesthoops.com. It's been quite the matchup so far. A lot of defense here in this first half. So let's see who can pull it off in this second half to punch their ticket to the Mountain West Basketball Championship. Stick with us for the second half.
Getting set to get this second half underway here at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Nate Kreckman, Chris DeBlanc. Wyoming a 6-point lead on Boise State. Cowgirls, the 7 seed. Boise State, the 6 seed. A low-scoring first half, 18-12 Wyoming at the break. The Cowgirls, 7-27 from the field, just edging Boise State at 6 of 27 from the floor. And Krista, really, it's you want to talk about being down 6. What does Boise State have to do to get going offensively? But this is a conversation going on in both locker rooms right now.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, neither team lighting it up. To call it a defensive juggernaut is an understatement. And, you know, the high turnovers on both sides, just uncharacteristic. So both teams being scrappy and just trying to do a little too much. They just need to settle down. But in my opinion, for Boise State, I would like to see them to kick the tempo up. Their leading scorer has yet to score. Lavelle, 0 for 6. Got to find a way to get something going. And I say continue to attack. Maybe get to the free throw line until you can get the shots to go.
Haven't taken any free throws yet so far in this game. Wyoming has only shot 2. Alexis Mark leading all scorers with 8. Weideman had 5 in the first half for Wyoming. And David's daughter quickly gets the bucket. She now has 6. And she's leading the way again for Wyoming. Narrow backdoor cut, Lavelle, back-to-back buckets. All right, so the slow start in the first half, but a quick start here in quarter number 3.
Both teams looking to the interior, and I like the communication there.
First field goal for Lavelle. She's now 1 of 7. David's daughter from the baseline rattles it home. Back-to-back buckets. David's daughter to start the third.
She's just a steady player, gets it done.
Defense sags off Mark. Got it back from Narrow. Has the look, doesn't take it, puts it on the floor. Over to McGuire. McGuire doubled, turnaround, foul. We talked about getting to the stripe. McGuire doing just that, draws contact, and the first free throws of the game coming up now for Boise State and Mallory McGuire.
Yeah, she's also 0 for in this game. So, you know, if Jade Lavelle's going to be off, somebody like McGuire, that's a player that has to be on, and vice versa. They can't have both of them being off.
Mallory McGuire's name has appeared in WNBA mock drafts, but she says at the conclusion of this season, she's ready to be done with basketball. Had a fantastic career, 75 games at Oregon, now a couple of seasons at Boise State.
2-1, full court pressure, trying to slow down Wyoming. Yeah, it's interesting to, you know, it's definitely a job, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into playing on after college as well. It's tough enough in college ball. It's your job in college.
Weideman's pass stolen by Lavelle. Lavelle in transition. She Euro stepped and drew the foul.
She didn't really have the numbers, but she knew she had the defense kind of off balance, and so she continued to take it up and get to the stripe.
Again, you talked about keys for the second half. Boise State creating some easier looks, getting to the line, and they have been very good in those regards here early on in the second half. Lavelle didn't score in the first half. She now has 4 here in the third quarter.
They're applying full court pressure also. I think sometimes that's an energizer. It kind of gets the juices flowing. They were down by 11 at one time, and really it could have been more, as big of a drought as they were having in the first half.
Shot clock winding down. Olsen drive baseline. Sanchez Ramos along the baseline, blocked by Muse. 5th block of the game for Boise State. That now ties a school record for team blocks in a season. Boise State turns it back over to Wyoming. That is the 146th block this year for Boise State, and they've been able to do that now in just game number 23 this season.
They lead the conference. They're 5th in the nation. They average 6 per game.
One more note on that tough shooting first half for Boise State, as Weideman hits from the baseline. The tournament record for the fewest points in a half was 10 and is 10. That was Utah and BYU back on March 9th of 2001. So Alexis Mark hit a jumper in the final minute that gave Boise State 12. And they were able to avoid that record.
Mark not wanting to have the team pick up that stat.
Sanchez Ramos had the 3 blocked by Muse. New school record for a season. Abby Muse 2 blocks this quarter. David's daughter is left wide open, but Mark got a piece of it.
Boy, she had to come from all the way across outside the lane for the help D, because it was Muse stuck at the other end, and boy, did she help.
Boise State tops in the Mountain West in opponent field goal rate. Teams shooting just 37.5% this season against Boise State, and the top shot blocking team in the conference. Sanchez Ramos thought about the 3. Lavelle closes out. See how much longer before Gerald Mattinson goes back to McKinley Bradshaw. Staying with Johnson for now. Olsen puts it on the floor, left hand. Put that up well short. Good on-ball defense by Narrow. Narrow hands it off to Mark. Gets it to Lavelle. Pulls up in rhythm. No. Rebound by Johnson. Lavelle now 1 of 8 from the floor. She has been playing so well coming in, averaging 23 over her last 7. Oh, and the high-low feed, the lob to David's daughter, and she'll go up and lay it in.
Diney David's daughter has come to play here in the third quarter. She's really spearheaded things from the start.
David's daughter in double figures now with 10. Muse has an open look. Misses the iron. David's daughter, high IQ, hardworking player. That's the kind of transfer you want to bring into this program. Gerald Mattinson was thrilled to have her this season. Weideman the triple. Back pedals down the floor. Timeout, Boise State. Back to an 11-point game, 29-18. 7-0 run, Wyoming, here in the third quarter. Good catch. Quinn Weideman 3 right before the timeout, her second of the game. She now has 10. That makes 136 threes on the year. She hit 4 last night. She has hit 2 so far here this evening, and Wyoming an 11-point lead with 5:11 left here in the third quarter. Nate Kreckman, Krista Blunk here with you at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. Things have certainly picked up here in the third, but Wyoming has outscored Boise State 11-6.
Yeah, you know, they came out and they've really added some intensity to the defense, and now they're putting some full court pressure out there, but it's the shots, and they've worked it into David's daughter in particular, and now some trap out of the timeout, smothering.
Bradshaw onto the floor. They get a wide open look for Lavelle. Good look, Mark to Lavelle.
Yeah, the trap, the D not able to recover. Good job by the Broncos to break it.
Cut that lead to single digits. Bradshaw trying to get it to David's daughter, threw it right to Mark. Narrow into the front court. Narrow, the freshman point guard from Beaverton, Oregon. Big shoes to fill with Jade Christopher having graduated, but Mary Kay Narrow has had a fine freshman campaign.
Yep, she has. She's gained a lot of confidence.
Bradshaw gets to the rim, goes up strong.
Where they needed that. Back-to-back turnovers for these teams, just giving up the opportunities, just high, uncharacteristic turnovers on both sides.
First field goal for McKinley Bradshaw. Mark, nice job by David's daughter. Didn't foul on that possession. Out of bounds, though, and last touch by Wyoming. Sanchez Ramos back. David's daughter sits down.
She's been good. Double figures, 4 boards.
And we get a timeout on the floor with 4:01 left here in the third. Wyoming up 11, trying to advance to the title game coming up tomorrow night. Wyoming 6 of 10 from the floor here in the third quarter, as they have put up 13 points. Boise State 2 of 7 in the quarter, coming off a first half in which the Broncos shot just 22%. Wyoming up 11 here at the Thomas & Mack in Las Vegas. Fresno State, a 5-point win over New Mexico in our first semifinal. So the Bulldogs awaiting the winner of this game. Mark pulls down the rebound, hits the deck. And they call that a tie-up in possession arrow, Boise State. 6 on the shot clock. Got it into Lavelle. Shot clock winding down. Osley's got to hoist it. No rim. Shot clock violation. Big stop. Gerald Mattinson fired up right now. He knows this team is going to have to close out this game on the defensive end here tonight.
Yep. For certain, and his defense has definitely been on, and right there getting a big stop. Those are just deflating if you are the Broncos.
Again, third game in 3 nights for Wyoming. Second game of the Mountain West Tournament here for Boise State, but the Cowgirls, the 7 seed, they had to play the first round. Beat Utah State. Mark knocked it away from Sanchez Ramos. 3 on the shot clock. Sanchez Ramos backs on Mark. The runner off the window. Good defense, better offense.
Her first point, she was 0 for 6 prior to that one. She was really aggressive last night in their win against UNLV.
Wyoming up 13. They've led the whole way here tonight. Osley the drive, and she got it to go. First field goal, Anna Osley. Osley went for 11 last night. And now the Broncos down 11. Wyoming just so patient offensively. Knocked out of bounds. And we saw this, Krista, last night against UNLV. And we certainly saw it against Utah State as well, because Wyoming is just so patient offensively. They're a tough team to come back on.
Yeah, they use a lot of the clock. They're very patient.
Weideman swatted away by Bowers.
They don't give you a lot of extra opportunities, although tonight both teams have had some turnover problems. The Broncos in particular, though, 15. They've given up 18 points. So Wyoming forcing turnovers, but they're creating offense out of it as well.
Sanchez Ramos on the cut. The fade is up and in, and the foul.
She had to work hard for that one, but boy, did she get it. Her movement without the ball, and she could see her teammates, the shot clock winding down. She cuts into the lane. Double team comes on her, and she's able to spin away and get the and one.
missed the free throw, and a whistle and a loose ball foul on Johnson. That's 2 on Johnson. Sanchez Ramos, 4 points and a couple of boards here this evening in 20 minutes of action. Went for 13 Monday against Utah State. A little quieter last night with 7 and 6. But given what Weideman and Olsen did from downtown last night, not a lot of offense required from much of anyone else. Approaching the 2-minute mark, third quarter. Osley puts it on the floor. Steps to the side and got whistled for a foul. That is on Ustowska. She can't believe it. She thought she got all ball.
She said, I didn't touch her. The freshman from Poland. That's going to give her 3 if she was out behind the arc. I believe she might have been. Yeah, behind the 3-point arc, so 3 free throws.
First foul on Ustowska.
It's interesting. Gordy Presnell started to clap right when she was shooting her free throw. Coach. Gotta watch that timing on the clapping.
Maybe he does that in practice. It works.
Maybe.
3 for 3 on that trip. Back to a 10-point game.
He handled the focus.
David Stoddard and Olsen now back for Wyoming.
Full court pressure by the Broncos.
Christina Gill now onto the floor. Abby Muse back. McGuire back on the floor for Boise State. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Wyoming up 10. Cowgirls trying to get back to the championship game. Haven't been there since 2019. In fact, it's their only appearance ever in the championship game. They lost to Boise State that year. Sanchez Ramos buries that triple. And they have opened up a 13-point lead with under a minute and a half to go in the third. Lavelle hoisted that up well short.
Just a tough evening for her. Boy, Sanchez Ramos, though, an interesting player, the junior out of Spain. She played in the NBA's Basketball Without Borders camp in Los Angeles in 2018.
Collects the assist that time, finding David's daughter.
Yeah, she's starting to feel it, but interesting, she got to come to the U.S. because she played in a similar event in Israel, and she was named an All-Star, got to come over and do that here in the U.S. And another board for her.
Osley well short. Tough shooting night for Boise State. Just 9 made field goals, shooting 23% from the floor. Wide open look. Johnson. That's her first field goal. Timeout Boise State. An 18-point game. Wyoming 43, Boise State 25. Timeout Broncos. We'll keep it right here with 31.1 seconds left here in the quarter. Biggest lead of the game. Wyoming has led the whole way.
6 made threes for Wyoming, and they had that big game last night, 15. You kind of wondered, do they have any left in them? Jay Johnson, the senior, also, she went out, if you remember, in the first half last night. She fell on her right arm, and I wasn't sure if it was the shoulder and elbow, but she came back in, and she was still, didn't do a ton of things, just 9 minutes in the game, but a couple rebounds, and now tonight getting involved with the offense.
Looked like she was doing great right there. 8-point run, and it is Wyoming 43-25. Boise State is going to have to get to work. And they need to start connecting from the outside. Osley could be a big part of this comeback here. Four straight tournament wins, 4 straight championship games for Boise State, but they're in trouble here tonight. McGuire steps inside the arc. The 2 in rhythm, rims off. Offensive rebound, though, stolen by Olsen, and that is the end of the third quarter. 25 points scored in the third by Wyoming. They're up 18 as we go to the fourth quarter here in Las Vegas. For the basketball game, Wyoming now 6 of 12 from downtown as they have opened up an 18-point lead, their biggest of the game.
I keep forgetting my mic, Nate. Come on. Are you turning my mic off? I think that might be what's happening here. He acts like he wants to talk to me. No, you know what? What a charge by Wyoming at the end to finish off that third quarter. I mean, they just really put everything together. Defensive stops, they forced turnovers, and then they worked it around. It wasn't just one player that was necessarily on fire. It was a little bit of everybody getting involved, and that's great balance.
And a steal by Wyoming. And the Cowgirls will go into their offense here. And I anticipate you're going to see a lot of patience here. You always do from Wyoming, but up 18 in the fourth quarter of a tournament game. Sanchez Ramos goes right to the rack. Had a block by Muse, but a foul is on Abby Muse.
Sanchez Ramos may have been kind of the spark that really got things going. She had been so quiet, really hadn't even hardly said her name, and then decided, I'm going to show up in that third quarter and take control.
It's the first. Sanchez Ramos now with 8 points and 3 rebounds.
Much improvement for her in her junior season. Started all of last year, 7 points, 5 boards. This year, 10 points, 6 boards.
And really playing well coming into the tournament. 8 rebounds over the last 9 games. Pulled down a career best 13 back on February 11th against Utah State.
Wyoming showing the 1-2-2.
20-point game here in the fourth. And Muse out of the reach of McGuire. Have not been able to get McGuire going offensively. 0 for 4 from the field. Just the 2 points. He does have 8 rebounds in the basketball game.
And Nate, those are little things that the freshman's going to learn. She was just a little bit too top to bottom on the key. If she takes one dribble to her right, gets a better angle, she's going to get that pass into McGuire.
We get a foul away from the basketball. That was on McGuire. That's 2 now on McGuire. I think you got to remember about Wyoming, they were playing well before the hiatus. They were 4-2 over their last 6, 2 wins so far in the tournament, so 6-2 over their last 8. Sanchez Ramos, the hesitation move, just missed the layup.
Yeah, they were, and then you get that big break, and then you think, what's going to happen when we come back? But they've now won 3 in a row coming back off of the break.
They've been very, very crisp here in the Mountain West tournament. They've defended well. They've shot the 3 ball well. They hit the 15 last night, which was a new tournament record. They're 6 of 12 from downtown here this evening. Huge bucket and a much needed basket for Abby Muse right there. The foul was on David's daughter.
Nobody in double figures for the Broncos team.
Gustowska and Weideman back now for Wyoming. Muse, one of the freshmen that are going to be the future of this program. 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, including Alexis Mark and Mary Kay Narrow, along with Muse. Kimora Sykes on the floor right now, a redshirt freshman. Elodie Lalott has played tonight. 8 freshmen in total on this team. After, that great 4-year run of Riley Lupfer, Brady Hodgins, Jade Christopher, Ashanti Coleman. Those great legendary names in Boise State program history. Gustowska can't connect from 3, but Sanchez Ramos goes up and pulls down the offensive board. Of course, those 4 that I just mentioned playing overseas professionally. A transition season. Jade Lavelle just a junior. She could be back next year as Weideman misses on the reverse. Future is very bright, and Gordy Presnell is always going to have this program competitive.
Yep, definitely so. And he's a great recruiter.
Baseline drive and contact down low. That's on Weideman, her first.
As you said, 4 key starters from a season ago, and then Ellie Warner, also a player that got minutes and came in, but 5 seniors graduating, and he had to regroup.
McGuire, the runner, through contact. No, and it has just been a tough night here for Mallory McGuire. Can't get going offensively, 0 for 5. Jade Lavelle just 2 of 10 for the ball game. The Broncos shooting 24%, 10 of 42. They have not hit a 3 in this game. They're 0 for 9. Shot clock winding down. Sanchez Ramos, a deep 3. That's no good. McGuire the rebound. But even though they don't hit, they bled a lot of clock on that possession.
Yep, exactly right.
Narrow the miss, Muse the rebound, knocked out of bounds. Bronco ball. Substitution as Martina Makalova, the freshman from Slovakia, comes into the game. Has appeared in 18 games so far this season. Her first appearance at the Mountain West Tournament. Gordy Presnell down 18 here in the 4th, trying to get his freshman some minutes right here. McGuire lost it, knocked up into the air. Olsen comes away with it.
Love the energy of Tommy Olsen. She's just a little spitfire, you know, and I'm sure she's tiny in so many ways, but she's strong and she's tough, and I'm sure she's one of those players that with her size, maybe a lot of people said, oh, but she was told a lot of times, you're maybe too little to play this game, but boy, she's something special.
One of 3 Wyoming natives here on this Cowgirl team. So a lot of pride involved here in this program, and such a shame, as with most things with the pandemic, but no fans here at the Thomas and Mack.
Yeah.
Those Wyoming Cowgirls fans travel
so
well. A very long streak of drawing at least 2,000 fans at the Arena Auditorium there in Laramie. They do a great job supporting this program all those years with Joe Legursky. Gerald Mattinson now in his 2nd season, having been elevated from the assistant's role after Legursky's retirement. And now Wyoming up 19 with 6.5 minutes left. An opportunity to win the Mountain West Tournament with a championship game tomorrow night if they can finish off Boise State with 6.5 to go. Third game in 3 nights for Wyoming, and yet we have not seen any signs of fatigue, wear, and tear. This is a fresh Wyoming team. Had the 22-day layoff coming into the tournament, and with an opportunity to close out Boise State here and go a perfect 3-0 thus far here at the 2021 Mountain West Tournament, and a chance to advance to tomorrow night's championship game against Fresno State.
I think Gerald Mattinson and his staff's done a nice job with their rotation also, and keeping fresh legs out there, giving players breathers. And he doesn't get hurt by any of the players that he's bringing in. And then also at their end, they work a lot of the clock. They're so patient that they get some rest when they can.
Foul on David's daughter, her 2nd, team's 3rd. Sanchez Ramos go to the bench. Mark, the freshman, the turnaround, the baby hook.
I like that player. I think she's got a really bright future.
Mark with 10, the only Bronco in double figure here tonight. She had a double-double last night. It was her 3rd of the season against Colorado State. David's daughter on the roll with the bucket. Diney David's daughter has 15. This is the 2nd game of the tournament. She's been in double figures.
Grad transfer and good on both ends, and getting her master's in finance.
Played for Iceland's U20 national team. As always, an international flavor to this Wyoming squad. Ustowska from Poland, Savic from Croatia. 3-second violation.
Good D by McGuire. She just shut her down right there. Said, nuh-uh.
Grace Ellis in the game now from Brisbane, Australia originally, the freshman. And then, of course, Sanchez Ramos from Madrid. Joe Legursky has worked the overseas recruiting. Big bucket there, Makalova. Speaking of the Euros, the freshman from Slovakia. An and one opportunity. Sanchez Ramos back. Foul is on Bradshaw. David's daughter sits down. First on Bradshaw. Now a 16-point game. Full court pressure from Boise State.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some time left, but you've got to get some stops here, and then you got to get the scoring if you're the Broncos. Got to do it fast.
Jordy Presnell has gone back to Jade Lavelle. Draws the foul out near midcourt. 4th team foul. So 1 foul away from putting the Cowgirls into the bonus. Inbound, Weideman. Bradshaw in the corner, back up top, Weideman. Hard to believe, as consistently good as this Wyoming program has been, they have never won this tournament before. Lost the title game back in 2019. That was their only ever appearance in the championship game.
Yeah, I just always look at that stat and think, do I have this wrong? Did I look this up incorrectly? I don't know how that's possible.
Sanchez Ramos looking for a cutter. It wasn't there. A little miscommunication there between Sanchez Ramos and Bradshaw. And this is an interesting point here of the game. At a 16-point lead, Gerald Mattinson does not want to see his team take the foot off the gas. He wants to see that focus remain, because if they can close this out, heck of a challenge coming up tomorrow night against Fresno State.
Yeah, they have to keep adding to it. You can't just stop and hope you don't lose the game.
And there's the Jade Lavelle we know. Step back jumper hits it, and now it's a 14-point game.
Cowgirls got to handle this pressure. The Broncos extending it full court.
It's just the 3rd field goal so far tonight for Lavelle. Olsen back out top, Johnson. Take that 3, grazes off the rim. Narrow got a hand on it, and they'll say it was touched by Narrow. So Wyoming ball, and a fresh 20 on the shot clock with 4:11 left. You be the judge?
Yeah, in real time, I did think that the officials got that correct. I really did. It didn't quite look like it there, but I thought she touched it.
Olsen trying to feed the post. Ellis lost it, got it back, and goes up and gets fouled. Grace Ellis, 3 points tonight. This will be her first trip to the line. 3:52 remaining. Boise State has made their last 3 from the field. They've cut it to a 14-point game, but still a lot of work to do. Ellis, a 79% free throw shooter. She had 6 last night in the win over UNLV. Hit 2 of 2 from downtown. Was 1 of 2.
Ooh. Almost a carry, I thought, by Makalova. Ooh.
Olsen the steal. Mark right on her, but a good job by Olsen using the body and creating space to finish in transition.
She stays so low. She gets underneath the dribble, and now some trapping pressure by the Cowgirls.
McGuire pump fake. Mark the turnaround, up and in.
Chipping away.
Mark with 12, 15-point game at 51-36. This has certainly been Wyoming Cowgirl basketball here tonight. Tough defense, efficient 3-point shooting. Weideman the drive and miss, McGuire the rebound.
Good spacing. Weideman just didn't get the ball up high enough.
Another miss for Mallory McGuire. And a whistle and a foul away from the ball. And that was on Mark. She knocked into Ellis. That will put Ellis at the line. Cowgirls in the bonus. And 4 new Broncos now into the game. Abby Muse back, Christina Gill, Kimora Sykes, Elodie Lalott into the game now on the floor. So Fresno State awaiting the winner here. Wyoming certainly approaching the finish line and an opportunity to win 3 games in 3 nights. David's daughter now back. She's leading the way here for Wyoming with 15 points. And this is a matchup you talk about for tomorrow night. Wyoming and Fresno State, Krista. Fresno State wants to run. That is their entire game. Wyoming likes to play games in the 60s. Fresno State likes to play in the 80s and the 90s. So really contrasting styles that we're going to see coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which team wins out. When Wyoming won the game against Fresno State earlier, it was 65-63 a final. The loss was up in the 80s, and they went to overtime, but that one went to Fresno State.
Yeah, who's going to be able to control the tempo of this game? Great matchup with the guards, Olsen and Weideman against Hannah and Haley Cavender.
Oh, boy.
That's going to be something to watch.
Spacing once again, Weideman.
And Weideman traveled, but with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, an efficient possession, up 17 points. Able to bleed 28 more seconds out of this game. So last night, Wyoming hit 15 threes en route to the victory, the upset win over UNLV. Tonight, it's been about the defense, holding Boise State to 29% shooting and forcing a whopping 22 turnovers.
Ooh, that number just jumps right out, doesn't it? They've gotten 23 points off of them. Got a bright future, though, for this Broncos team. There's a lot of good young talent.
Stolen by Weideman, Mountain West all-defensive team. Quinn Weideman, she has 10 points tonight. Couple of rebounds, couple of assists. 12 steals tonight for the Cowgirls.
Wow.
And Gerald Mattinson's going to empty out his bench with under a minute to go now. Sanchez Ramos, 3 off the catch. Back iron, no good. Alba Sanchez Ramos, 9 points here tonight. Olsen will take the foul. And the starters will head to the bench. Olsen, Weideman, Sanchez Ramos, David's daughter, and Johnson will take a seat with 51.8 seconds left in this game. And a chance to play for a Mountain West title in the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament tomorrow night. The substitutions for Wyoming: Paula Salazar into the game, Lexi Bull, Martisovic, Ustowska back, and Landry Hudson onto the floor.
How about 9 steals for Tommy Olsen of the Cowgirls?
That's not in the tournament, that's tonight.
That's just tonight. Yep, really something. She was going early. David's daughter got things going on the interior for the Cowgirls. And so a good inside-outside, good balanced game for Wyoming.
Yeah, they didn't shoot the ball great tonight, just 38% from the floor. But if you defend like this, you're going to be in a lot of games, and not just in games, but up 15. 3 off the mark there from Salazar. This will be win number 13 on the season for Wyoming. Cowgirls and Bulldogs coming up tomorrow night in the title game. And that's going to do it. Gerald Mattinson, 2 hands in the air. 3 games, 3 nights, 3 victories, and a trip to the championship game of the Mountain West tournament coming up tomorrow night for the Wyoming Cowgirls as they hold Boise State under 40 points. This is the first game under 40 since 2002 for Boise State. Wyoming defending like a potential conference champion, and they'll play for the title coming up tomorrow night. 53-38 our final here in Las Vegas. For my partner, Chris DeBlanc, I am Nate Kreckman saying so long for now. Jesse Kurtz has your post-game show coming up next. Wyoming, a date with Fresno State in the championship game tomorrow night.
In Las Vegas, they say 7 is a lucky number, but luck had nothing to do with tonight's outcome with Wyoming, as they, in a very convincing way, have knocked out Boise State, the first team to beat Boise State in 5 years. The Broncos have been riding a 13-game conference tournament win streak. No more. It's Wyoming, headed to the championship here in 2021. Let's go down courtside and join our own Bridget Howard, who is standing by with the victorious head coach.
Coach, you just handed Boise State their first loss in the tournament since 2016. How are you able to close this one out?
You know, once again, I thought our defensive effort was just outstanding. I mean, you hold Boise to 38 points in any basketball game. You know, that's credit to our team. And once again, I have to, just like last night, credit our staff for coming up with some schemes. And, you know, we've done some things different than we ever have done. People who probably have watched us over the last 20 years said probably the last time that Wyoming ever pressed as much as we have the last 2 games is probably 22 years ago. But, you know, great effort by our kids, and, you know, like I said, just proud of what they've done.
Well, clearly it worked tonight, and also on the offensive side of things, you had 6 3-pointers again, and we know you guys have the hot hand from behind the arc. So how big of a role does, you know, shooting from behind the arc play in your game plan heading into games?
I think it's very important, because that's part of what we do with motion, you know, and if somebody, you know, misses a switch for them or misses something and we can hit those threes, it makes it tougher on them, because now they got to extend. And when we started hitting a couple, it made them, especially in the second half, they had to extend out, and we got a couple cheapies inside to Diney and a couple other posts, because they were so worried about that action on the backside. So when you're able to shoot outside in our system and hit some, it makes it really helps us a lot.
Well, you're headed to the championship game. You take on Fresno State, who won earlier today. You split the series with them earlier this season, but both games were determined by 3 points or less, so it'll be a showdown, no doubt. What are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Well, I know we're tired. We were tired today. You could tell when we did our virus testing. You know, we had kids, you know, who went from the first day sitting and all excited. The second day was a little bit less excited. Today we were laying on the floor waiting for our results. So, you know, hopefully we got some legs left under us. I know, you know, we're going to have to shoot the ball real well tomorrow against the way Fresno plays their zone, and you know, and what they look to attack and how they attack. And we're going to have to do a great job in defensive transition and not give up some easy looks.
Well, go enjoy this win, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Up next, guys, we've got Tommy Olson coming over. Tommy, congratulations. I saw you there when you're walking off the court with all your teammates. You guys were expectedly excited. What emotions are going through your head right now?
I'm just really happy, not only because we won, but we've just all come together and really bought into the system, and we just play for one another. So that's what makes me more happy than the win, but the win is also good.
Having those 22 days off, you come out and you're going to the championship game. During that time, like, how excited were you getting to come back onto the court, and what did that time do for you guys as a team?
Oh, for sure. It was really exciting to just know that we're going to have a game soon. I mean, we kind of lost track of days there just because we were like, okay, we have a game, but like we don't know when with the whole seeding thing. So it just really built up, and it was good to get a game in.
You have the chance to win Wyoming's first Mountain West Women's Basketball Championship tomorrow. What goes through your head as you think about what you can accomplish tomorrow?
I just don't think about it. We just do the same thing that we have to do, that we did today and that we've been doing, and that's just coming out, playing hard, playing for each other, and the result will take care of itself.
Well, congratulations, Tommy.
Thank you.
Jesse.
All right, thank you, Bridget. Coach said, Nate, joined by Nate Kreckman, who just called the game alongside Krista Blanc. Nate said this team looked a little bit tired. I think everybody would agree with that. But, man, they are relentless with the way they pursue the basketball on defense. And here's a stat that we pulled out. In this tournament, they took on Utah State in Game 1, a team that was averaging 63 points. You hold them to 41, 22 under the season average. Then UNLV came in averaging 70 points. They scored 56, 14 under the average. And today, Boise State averaging 70 points a game, and they hold them to 38, 32 under. This is a team that is just relentless in its pursuit on defense.
Jesse, what did we talk about last night? This is not your average 7 seed, and Wyoming just now 7-2 over their last 9 ball games. The way that they defended, and really they've defended this entire tournament, but particular tonight, we just talked to Tommy Olson right there. 9 steals tonight for Tommy Olson. 9 steals, unbelievable. They forced Boise State into shooting 28% from the field. They did not hit from downtown tonight. That was championship defense right there. Now, a new challenge awaits tomorrow night in Fresno State, but really, that was, if you liked quality defensive basketball and just guards playing tough on the perimeter, that was a clinic this evening.
Yeah, 23 points off of the turnovers, and I think maybe the biggest thing you look at, you got to stop Jade Lavelle if you're going to stop Boise State. 8 points. Boise State had 29 points at the 6:15 mark in the fourth quarter. She had 29 points all by herself a night ago. They really did a great job of locking down against Jade Lavelle. And there you see, this run that Wyoming is on. The season points scored 63.1. They're allowing 58. And what they have done here in this tournament have eclipsed both. That right there is a tournament championship caliber resume.
Yeah, nobody from Boise State was able to find any rhythm in this game at all tonight. Alexis Mark played pretty well, and she was able to connect on a couple of high percentage shots. Outside of that, Mallory McGuire, tough night, 0 for 6 from the field. We talked about Jade Lavelle right there. Jade was only 3 of 11 from the floor tonight. Mary Kay Narrows, 0 of 6 shooting the basketball this evening. Nobody really was able to find any rhythm, and that was all a credit to the way that Wyoming defended in this game. They used some half-court pressure. They used some trapping defense. It just made a lot of issues for Boise State. They turned the basketball over 22 times in this game, and again, the 9 steals for Tommy Olson. Unbelievable. They gave up 12 points in the first half of this game.
Didn't have to score a bunch, just enough, and they did that. A couple of Wyoming players in double figures, talking about Davis' daughter and then Quinn Weideman. And Quinn Weideman, someone that has been the go-to, the mainstay, the rock of this team. And, a pretty good line, 10 points, double figures, 4 of 11, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Did just enough to make sure that her team was in position offensively to put away the Broncos.
Yeah, hit a couple of threes in this game tonight after hitting 4 last night. There was 15 total in the game last night. But, yeah, Weideman is just such a steadying force for this team. She creates good shot opportunities. She's so patient with the basketball, the way that she runs this offense. Weideman and Olson are playing their best basketball of the season at the right time of year.
Yeah, no question about it. We've had a number of 7 seeds make a Mountain West championship, 3 in all. Every one of them has lost in the championship game. The highest seed ever to win a Mountain West championship was the University of Utah. They were a 5, so a chance to continue to make history for Wyoming against Fresno State. And if you remember back to the regular season, these two teams split. Wyoming beat Fresno State on a buzzer beater. Jay Johnson had a putback at the buzzer to win 65-63. So, and the other game went to overtime. So these two teams have had a heck of a regular season against one another. Should be a great championship game.
Krista and I talked about this on the telecast. You think of Wyoming women's basketball, and it's just consistency. 16 seasons under Joe Legursky, and not a lot of down years in there. Some of the great players that have come through this program, Kayla Woodward, Liv Roberts, Aubrey Vandiver, and yet they've never won this tournament. It's unbelievable. They were in the championship game a couple of years ago against Boise State. They lost by 2, but an opportunity here for Wyoming to do something that's never been done before in the history of this program.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the team stats and what has led up to this opportunity that you speak of there, Nate. And you look at the stats, and you know, other than 3-point field goals, it's somewhat evenly matched. But again, 6-0, that's a big margin. That's 18 points.
It's not like Wyoming shot the lights out tonight either. Third game in 3 nights, and I think that was a factor. But when you defend it the way that they did tonight, and really playing that game at 53-38, they want to play, you know, roughly in the 50s, in the 60s right there. They completely dictated this game tonight.
Well, that assist-to-turnover ratio, 6-23, that speaks to that relentlessness that Wyoming has been playing with, and that was showcased here against the Broncos here tonight. All right, here's a look at the bracket where we are. 2 teams left in a chase for a championship. It's Fresno State, who we heard had some unfinished business thanks to that loss last year in the championship game. Something tells me Wyoming has some unfinished business as they lost the championship 2 years ago. So somebody is going to be crowned a Mountain West champion here tomorrow night.
Look at this 4-7 title game. This is good stuff right here. No chalk whatsoever. This is going to be fun coming up tomorrow night. And again, this is just really 2 contrasting styles. We know the way the Bulldogs want to play. They want to push the tempo. Cavaliers want to go. They want to score 90 points.
Yep.
Wyoming, they want to play a game down in the 50s. They're going to run their offense. They're going to stay patient against that Fresno State zone. Who will have an opportunity to be able to dictate? They split in the regular season, and when you look back on it, when Wyoming won, they played in the 60s. When the Bulldogs won, they played in the 80s.
No, it's going to be a heck of a matchup. 2 very hot teams meeting in the championship. And oh, by the way, we're going to start the men's bracket as well tomorrow. Here's a look at the bracket that will start tomorrow with the first round games. Wyoming taking on San Jose State. That'll be 11 o'clock right here on the Mountain West Network. UNLV getting Joe Scott and the Air Force Falcons immediately following that. And then Fresno State and New Mexico will wrap up the first day on the men's side. The teams that come into this championship with a bye: San Diego State, Boise State, Nevada, Utah State, and Colorado State will all tip things off on Thursday. Real quick, Nate, what do you like about this men's bracket, and who's your favorite?
Well, I think San Diego State has got to be a heavy favorite here coming into this tournament. But really, I would argue there are 4 teams that could win this thing. 4 teams vying for a bid into the NCAAA tournament, 1 through 4, San Diego State, Utah State, CSU, and Boise State. 3 first-round matchups tomorrow. The 3 teams that come out of the first round will have tall tasks ahead of them coming up here in the quarterfinals. But my money's on San Diego State at tournament time.
I think that's a pretty good pick. You'll be on the call tomorrow for those men's games. Again, tipping off at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, Wyoming and San Jose State. Hey, it's definitely not the same without you, the great fans here at the Thomas & Mack Center, but we are committed to giving you the best seats we possibly can and feel a part of this 2021 Air Force Reserve Mountain West Tournament. Make sure you're participating in the virtual game day experience. You can do so at Mountain West Hoops Second Screen Experience. You can log on to mountainwesthoops.com on your smartphone or your computer. You can watch the games, participate in fan polls, trivia, and chat with your fellow fans. Mountain West Hoops Second Screen Experience is available for all tournament games. For more information, you can log on to mountainwesthoops.com. That's going to do it from the Thomas & Mack Center, where the Wyoming Cowgirls and the Fresno State Bulldogs are in the women's championship. But we're going to tip things off with the men's tournament. First round action, San Jose State and Wyoming, starting tomorrow morning. We'll see you back here at Thomas & Mack tomorrow.